Yo, what's going on, Warriors? It's your boy, Lionheart, and I'm back. Oh my god. Oh my goody. Stop. Stop. Avengers, Infinity War. We're going in. We're going in. We're not wasting any time. Yeah? First, thank you. Hello. How you doing? I hope life is good. Life is good for me. I hope it's good for you. If you've watched Avengers Infinity War, then I know you're feeling, you got that bit of that fire in your belly, right? Because I've definitely got that fire in my belly. And we're about to go into it right now. First of all, let's talk about the movie in terms of spoiler free for the first few minutes of this review. Yeah, just so that we can include everybody. All right. So the movie itself, for me personally, because I've watched all of them, I don't need to know a backstory or character development with Tony, with Thor, with Steve, with Sam, with Bucky, Natalia, T'Challa, the Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't need it. I already have it. Steven, don't need it. Already have it. Watch those movies. Fantastic movies. Character development. Spot on. Lovely. Yeah. Now, this movie, I do feel it was made with the people that have been watching all of the Marvel movies in mind. So it's unique because normally they do it as, if you've read the comics, it's going to mean a lot to you. If you just want to watch a superhero movie, you should enjoy it. But this movie is saying, not if you've read the comics, but if you've watched our movies. Because they have created a 10-year catalogue of historical events in their movies, which has never been done before, which is actually pretty bloody godlike. Yeah, so this caters more to the people that have supported the Marvel movies and watched all the Marvel movies up to this date. I have. I felt like a lot of people haven't and still don't even, right? Because even at the end of the movie, a lot of people walked out of the movie like the second the film was finished. And I was just thinking to myself, bloody hell, these people are brand new, man. They're just new to this, right? So that was different, but I kind of expected it as well. So as I said, for me, this movie the pacing was just unbelievable. It was just perfect, spot on. They were juggling so many different character arcs and character stories and adventures, culminating into one big, massive showdown. Man, and there were so many little Easter eggs, not just from the movies, but from the comics. We're going to go into a lot. You know, I am the encyclopedia for this shit. Yeah, because I don't need to go on YouTube or Wikipedia or the Marvel movies or anything like that, because this is my shit. This is my shit. Right? I'm with it. I'm with it. I'm with it. You know what I mean? I don't mess about when it comes to my superhero stuff. That's something that I'll never abandon from my childhood. Yeah? The late 90s, the early thousands growing up. I will never lose that. That's my stuff. You know? So, let's go, man. Let's go. So, that is it for my spoiler-free review. Yeah, the movie is 10 out of 10. You do have to watch that film multiple times because there's a lot of stuff that is in that movie. There's a lot to absorb. Way too much to absorb from the first showing. Yeah? So, excellent, incredible movie. The best Marvel movie, bar none. Yeah? It's totally different to Black Panther. You can't really rate it with Black Panther. But if I had to say which one's better out of Avengers and Black Panther, so hard. So bloody hard, because Black Panther wasn't just a superhero movie and a movie, it was a movement. This is a superhero movie and a movie and a legacy. So it's very different. So if I had to, I would put Black Panther and Avengers #1 together. Yes, together. Right? So, yeah. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Once you've watched the movie, the complete movie, please come back because I'm going to be doing a complete review in the next few seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What are you saying, Warriors? So, as I said, if you haven't watched the movie, you shouldn't be here right now. It's important that you're not here. I'd love you to stay, but you haven't watched the movie. A lot happens, and I'm going to go in depth, like proper in depth into it. So, you shouldn't be here. But come back when you've watched your movie, and we can get into it with the rest of the Warriors. Thank you. Alright, so now you've been warned. This is just going to be going into the full review with every detail, everything. Yeah? Let's do it. So this movie, I'll say by the end of the movie, I was absolutely shell-shocked. I couldn't even clap. Nobody actually, now I think about it, nobody actually clapped in the entire movie, right? Because everybody was just shell-shocked and gobsmacked as to the events of the movie, right? And I was the same. I was amazed. I was in awe. I literally felt like I was watching an event that happened years ago, or something that is happening somewhere. I felt like this is something that is happening right now in another universe, or in our place but somewhere else, or something that is going to happen. It felt like I'm watching something that has actually happened. I believed every single bit of the movie. That's what's incredible. I actually believed everything that was happening in front of me, because it was so fantastic and believable and crazy and just disaster movie, superhero movie, intrigue movie, sneaking movie, everything. It was just amazing. It was a beautiful movie. Beautiful, right? So let's get into like some of the more details about the movie. Movie was actually good. It's a good action movie, a story movie, character driven movie, plot based movie, intrigue movie, battle fight movie, action movie, everything. It had everything. For me personally, it had everything that I needed, right? From the very beginning, where Thanos was attacking the ship that all the Asgardians had escaped from. So it felt like it was, first of all, it felt like it was, the beginning of the movie was the ending of Thor Ragnarok. Is crazy, is beautiful, right? I was a bit puzzled as to where Valkyrie was, because Valkyrie was just not there, right? But Thor had already got his ass kicked. Yeah, Thanos. I was gonna say Thanos had already beaten up Loki, but Loki probably just said, "Sorry, sir, don't hurt me," right? I don't know. Hulk must have got sent flying to the other side of the ship or something, right? But yeah, it looked to me like the only survivor was Thor. Hulk got saved. He got sent by the Bifrost to Earth. Thanos versus Hulk. We're not skimming past that. That's a real thing. That actually did happen. They fought and Thanos did beat him, because with the Infinity Gauntlet, Thanos is unbeatable. He is actually unbeatable. Yeah. The Marvel Universe has tried to collectively get together to beat Thanos, and Thanos has beaten everybody. Everyone. Right? And, well, you'd know that from the comics, actually. So, yeah, that has happened. But without it, Thanos is still pretty damn close to unbeatable. He is a damn power. You got to remember, yeah, he is basically an Eternal, yeah. So it's a bit, I don't really want to go in depth into the Celestials and the Eternals and what Thanos is, because if you look at Thanos, this is a totally different Thanos. I mean, he was organic. There was no cybernetic there was no alterations to make to his body at all. It looked like a pure Thanos, which is not actually Thanos, right? But the Thanos that they put in this movie was still a pure Thanos, but it was an incredible, powerful version of Thanos, but a believable version of Thanos. So, which would suit movies, right? So, man, my brain is going at 1,000,000 miles per hour. I'm looking at every goddamn thing that happened in that movie, and I want to say all in one go, and I can't. Right, so from the bit where Banner gets sent to the Sanctum Sanctorum, yeah, with Doctor Strange and Wong, and he warns them of Thanos, and then they go find Tony Stark, and Tony Stark is with Pepper Potts, just talking a load of shit. Well, it's not shit actually. It's kind of like I felt like that bit was just disclaiming what happened in Iron Man 3. Yeah. Pepper Potts is cool. She's in there. I am an Avenger. I am making my Iron Man suits. Forget all that shit that I did in Iron Man 3. Except for the fact that I had what is it? Post-traumatic stress disorder or something like that. PTSD or something like that. Right? I still got a little bit of that, which is understandable because I understood the scope that Thanos was coming. That this was going to be the end of the world. How big the actual stakes were. Right? We could keep a little bit of that. But all that shit we did with Mandarin and Pepper Potts and us being like not together anymore and me abandoning my suits, forget all that shit. Yeah, because he even said something about, he brought like a tiny little thing, yeah, the most obscure thing from the comic books about his cousin, Morgan Stark, and he said it was Pepper Potts' uncle, right? So it's kind of like, if we have a son, he's going to be called Morgan Stark, right? Which is a little shout out to the comic books, like you know, for people that are proper into the comic books, right? To find that out. So it's funny that they did that basically, right? But it was still cool at the same time. Yeah. So they had that, and there's like a little bit of story before he came there, and he said, what did he say to you? Something like that. He said something really funny. It was like it was such good character. It was something like Doctor Strange said, Tony Stark, Doctor Strange, master of the mystic arts, watcher over the reality of planet Earth and this realm. We need to talk. And he said, oh yeah, congratulations on the wedding, by the way. And then Tony Stark's like, what, you selling tickets or something? You selling tickets to my wedding or something? That was sick. And that's when Banner came and he's like, yo, Bruce. And then Bruce just said, Tony, this is bad, man. This is bad. And then they went back to the Sanctum Sanctorum and explained Thanos. And Tony immediately understand the scope of the situation. And he's like, tell me his name again. That, from that moment, rocket buster. They literally strapped a rocket ship to the back of all our backs, lit that shit up, and sent us on a crazy adventure from point A to point Z. And it was absolutely amazing. I could not ask for more from that movie. From the moment they even showed they even made like little references to the cauldron, from the beginning bit, to the artifacts that he got from the Sanctum Sanctorum that he's managed to master now. Banner, Hulk would not come out of Banner. The Iron Man, his new nano suit, and he's actually got the housing in his chest, right? That's actually what that is. It's the nanomites, basically, that powers his suit. That is basically his suit now inside his chest, right? And the suit was incredible. I don't even know what suit that is. I'm a little bit behind. At first, I thought it was the Superior Iron Man, but it's not Superior Iron Man. So I'm not too sure whether it's his L suit or what it is, because I am a little behind, yeah? So, but that suit was godly, yeah, that Iron Man had. And you believe it, because look at Tony Stark's technological advancements from every Iron Man movie. No matter how bad they've been, the suits have always been consistently incredible, and you believe in Tony Stark. He is the #1 guy, yeah? Okay. Sorry, it was a tweet. Yeah, somebody tweeted me something about... I did do like a bunch of tweets about the Avengers Infinity War. So I'm getting like quite a lot of notifications. So if I keep looking at my screen like that, that's all the notifications I'm getting from replies and tweets and retweets. Sorry. So yeah, so the suit was amazing. Yeah, the first fight, he's fighting against the children of Thanos, the Black Order. wait a second, am I skimming stuff? I feel like I'm skimming past because there were important events that happened in the very, very, very beginning. Like when Hulk got transported to Earth and Loki got his neck snapped. Just like that, dead. But the fact that Loki was prepared to just betray Thanos immediately in such a blatant way, like trying to cut his throat right from the outset, was just, Loki's got to go. He's got to go. He's got to do something kind of heroic because even he knows how big this guy is. He's got to do something. Got to get stopped. Got to get dead. Give Thor that extra resolve and then go. That's what I thought they did to Loki. But it was still showing you how significant and how big a threat this guy is. The fact that he can smash Hulk with physical strength. Just smash him. Kill Loki. Bust up Thor. Kill all the Asgardians. Disrupt the ship. Take the gem, the space gem. And go on to the next one. It's massive. It's massive. And that's a real thing, by the way. Because Thanos has actually fought Hulk before. A beaten Hulk. He's done that to the whole Marvel Universe, right? But this is just... This was a moment. This was like a Superman versus the Flash. Who's the fastest out of Superman and Flash? That's what that was when you saw Thanos versus Hulk. Within the first 5 minutes of the movie starting. Yeah. So that was amazing. Yeah, then straight away it just goes into the ship. One of the Black Order ship coming to Earth, invading Earth, right? And then Peter saw it, and then straight away went after it. And then Tony, and then Steven, and Wong were just fighting, and that fight was incredible. It was amazing, and Banner could not actually get Hulk to come out and fight. And then that fight that they were having was too much. It was actually too much. And Doctor Strange was actually, when I look at the movie and I think about the movie, the most prominent character in that whole movie was actually Doctor Strange and Tony Stark. They were actually the two most prominent characters in that whole movie. Doctor Strange had the most airtime out of everybody in that entire movie. Which I can go with that. I got no problem with that, right? Because I actually do like Doctor Strange a lot. Yeah. So, yeah. Absolutely incredible from that moment on. And that fight was godlike, yeah? And then even to the part where Spider-Man actually came and then saved Tony Stark. And then they were fighting together. And the teamwork with Tony Stark and Spider-Man was cool. It was like a continuation from Homecoming. It was too good. Like, the teamwork was amazing. It was too good, man. Right? So they were fighting on Earth, but then they managed to capture Stephen Strange and then take Stephen Strange on their ship to Titan. But then Peter Parker went after Stephen Strange. I think it was it the Moore? I can't remember what his name was. Basically the guy that, one of the children of Thanos. Well, anyway, basically that guy, he went with them, got on the ship, and then Tony Stark was fighting, and then Peter Parker was like, I need help. He's like, are you still on that ship? He's like, yeah. Let go, kid. There's no oxygen up there. You're gonna die. He's like, oh yeah. And he says, release 17L or 17A or something like that. And it was the superior, I'm gonna call it the superior Iron Spider. The superior Iron Spider. Yeah, basically, no, let's not do that. Let's call it what it is. Sorry, I'm getting hype. Yeah, the Iron Spider outfit. And it actually had the spider legs. It had the leg. It's too much. It's actually too much. Yeah, okay, I need to calm down. So basically, and then he fell off the ship, and then the suit caught him, and then he did that sick pose on the ship, and then I was like, you did a good job, kid. Now get back to your neighborhood, New York City, Brooklyn, and protect your neighborhood. I'll take it from here. But then Spider-Man actually is like, nah, man, I'm gonna save the Earth. How can I save the neighborhood if there's no neighborhood? Which basically means, how can I save my neighborhood of Brooklyn if Earth doesn't exist anymore? I've got to step up, which is pretty cool. And they were torturing Stephen Strange. They come up with some cool idea to actually fight against the Maw. I don't know his name. Yeah, I keep on saying the Maw because Thanos said, is the Maw dead to Stephen Strange? And Stephen Strange said, yeah. And the only person that I can recall them fighting was the Maw. So I'm not too sure exactly, yeah. So basically, that whole arc, basically, of them taking Stephen Strange to Titan, yeah, and then Tony Stark and Peter Parker saving them, yeah, with the Cloak of Levitation, because the Cloak of Levitation was a character as well, right? And then even when Tony was like, yeah, I just saved your ass. I'm waiting for say thank you. I'm waiting. Say thank you. and then Doctor Strange just like, I don't recall asking you for help. He's like, well, if I didn't save you, you'd have been dead. So anytime you want to say thank you, say thank you. You know, and then Strange's like, what's it like to be a douchebag, man? Oh my god. It was just like the character banter and interactions in that movie were brilliant. It was actually brilliant. Like, you could see that Tony and Stephen did not get on. And Stephen, Peter, Tony, Tony and Peter get each other, right? But Stephen was the new dynamic. And so it was all that character interaction with different characters from different movies. And they were so different. They actually felt like really different characters. Like Spider-Man Homecoming, Iron Man and Doctor Strange movies colliding and intertwining and interacting. And it's so fascinating just for that aspect. Right, and the fact that you're looking at Iron Spider. You're looking at the superior Iron Man. And you're looking at Stephen Strange. Doctor Strange is just amazing, and they're heading to Titan, and then Doctor Strange is like, yep, we've got to get back to Earth, and Tony Stark's like, yeah, so you want to run now, yeah? Cool, go on, coward. And he's like, I ain't trying to run, yeah, I've got to protect the stone. And he said, remember, if I have to make a decision between saving you and Peter, Tony Stark and Peter Parker, and the stone, I choose the stone. 100% of the time. Hold that. Yeah? And then Tony Stark's like, okay, cool, I understand. The moral compass of the team. Got you. Right? Because Tony Stark's idea was, let's take the fight to him. Let's fight on his domain. That's pretty godlike, because he believes in himself. Yeah? And he's like, we have got to do this. There's no other way. We have to do this. We can't wait for backup. We can't say we need the rest of anyone else. We've got to do this, and we can't fail. Man, Tony Stark stepped up, man. Tony Stark, Iron Man, the guy that we've been watching for 10 years, the man that pretty much started this whole Avengers initiative, he stepped up. It was wonderful to watch. It was wonderful to watch. And then even from that moment where it went to the Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Getting basically reacting to the distress signal from the Asgardian ship and finding Thor. And even that bit with Thor and the Guardians of the Galaxy was bloody hilarious. The way they were saying that Thor looks like some type... Drax was like, it looks like a space pirate had a child with an angel. And then... what's it called again? Quill was like, Star-Lord was like, he ain't all that. And he's like, he is 20 times more than you are. And then he's like, he's just a dude. And then Drax is like, no, he's not a dude. You're a dude. This is a man. That bit was the best. He's not a dude. You're a dude. He's a man. And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm a man. And then they're saying that his skin just looks amazing. His muscles are like some type of incredible cosmic skin or something like that, right? And then he's like, I'm in good shape. And then Raccoon's like, nah, mate, you're one sandwich away from fat. And Jack is like, yeah, you got a little bit of a double chin there, bro. And that was, and then the way he was, and then the way Quill started to try to talk like, are you talking to me, sir? Are you addressing me? I am a man. That interaction was just funny. And then Thor's like, are you mocking me? And then Quill's like, are you mocking me? That comedy was just the best. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I think that was actually the best banter scene in the whole movie. It was so funny and interesting. And even though the catastrophe of what just happened, Valkyrie's dead, yeah? Idris Elba's character is dead. Loki just got murdered. Asgard is gone. And you've lost Mjolnir. But it's still funny. It should be stupid and it should be broken. You should question it. But it's so good. You can't... You just... It is what it is. It is what it is. Right, you just accept it, enjoy it, and you get on with it. It's brilliant. And then just from that bit, they make the decision that they need to intersect. And they say, where is the next stone? And they say where they should get the next stone. And then they talk about the Power Stone. And they talk about the Reality Stone. And then they talk about the Soul Stone in one section. They say, yep, Thanos has already got the Reality Stone. Yeah, basically because, no, they were... The Power Stone, they'd already got. This is from the Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, basically, they didn't even show us that one. They just said he went, blew that place up and got the gem. Done. Now, he can't get the Soul Stone because that's somewhere where he doesn't really know where it is, right? Then he says that he's going to go next for the next stone, which is with the Collector. Nowhere. Nowhere is basically a Celestial's head. Basically is where the Collector is, and he collects all these ancient artifacts from all over the world, right? And yeah, that's why they call it Nowhere, because it's not actually a planet, it's actually the head of a Celestial. Celestials were like these mythical, incredible god universal creatures, and they made the Eternals, and Thanos is basically a deformed Eternal. Boom. Right, if you want to know more, it's difficult. Because it's all in the comics. But yeah, you can find out if you want to, but it's a pretty long story. Yeah. So and then we went there, the Guardians of the Galaxy split off. Yeah. Mantis, Quill, Drax, and Gamora. They went to do that mission to Nowhere. And then Thor basically kept on calling Rocket Raccoon a rabbit. And what was funny about it was he's called him Rabbit. Nobody disputed that. So he just kept on calling him Rabbit throughout the whole movie. Rocket, you know how Rocket is. He just accepted it. But then Thor, it's like Thor can see more than your physical form. Yeah. So basically when he sees Rocket, he's like, you're the leader. Would you and your tree friend escort me to... What was it? I think it's Nadia or Nadia? No. Nadhala or something like that. It's basically where the dwarfs are. Basically, there is the cosmic dwarfs, right? And the cosmic dwarfs is where they make the universal weapons, like the God creation weapons is basically made on Nadalia or something like that. I can't say the name properly, yeah. But basically there's the king dwarf called Eltree. And basically he says, Mjolnir is dead, is gone. And I need to make a God-slaying weapon, right? Now, automatically, we know that the God Slayer from Gamora is not in this movie, right? Because that's a God Slayer weapon. But even then, let's be honest, that weapon doesn't work on Thanos. She tried to kill Thanos with the God Slayer before. It don't work, right? So he went to make a weapon called the Stormbreaker, yeah, which is actually a real thing, right? Because there was a time where Thor lost his weapon, right? No, Thor lost his powers, and a new Thor was created called Beta Ray Bill, and Odin had the Eltri make a new weapon with the power equal to or greater than Mjolnir for Beta Ray. Because Beta Ray Bill was not prepared to take Mjolnir because he felt that belonged to Thor, which was rightfully so. Yeah. So Stormbreaker, and they actually made it really powerful in this one, because in this one, it could actually open the Bifrost on its own. It's bloody powerful. It's almost had like a fusion of the Groot's powers and the actual weapon. Yeah, and even that mission was really cool. The fact that the way Thor said, "Would you escort me on this mission, Captain?" to Rocket Raccoon, who he keeps referring to as Rabbit, and Groot, which was funny, right? Because even when they were going to save Thor, and they were like, "Yo, Groot, put the game away. We're on a serious mission." And then Groot's like basically just playing the game, and he's like, "Groot, put that game away. I'm not gonna tell you again." And he's like, "I am Groot," and they're like, "Whoa, language! What's happening to you?" Basically, it's like he went, "Fuck you, bitches," or something like that. But it's more about the tone more than the words. So you can say like, "I am Groot," like, "Hello everyone," or "I am Groot," like, "Fuck you, look." Yeah, it's kind of like the tone, and even Thor said he understands Groot, yeah, because the language, he said that there's a language he understands from Asgardian where it's tonal, it's about tones or something like that, right? So that was a really cool thing, just because, let's be honest, Thor has kind of turned into a space pirate. So the fact that he's with Guardians of the Galaxy, because Thor Ragnarok was basically like Guardians of the Galaxy 2, that Guardians of the Galaxy 2 never was, right? So the fact that those two were a pairing and they had their own separate missions, that was fucking sick. So I fucking loved that, right? And they went to do that mission where he went to make the Stormbreaker, and that little mission was funny because they even bumped into Eltri, who was Peter Dinklage, and he was like a giant dwarf that actually made it, which was bloody sick. And then even from the moment that when he did get it, he used the Bifrost to teleport to Earth and then helped in the battle of the Black Order versus Wakanda. Which I'm jumping, because I'm actually jumping past a lot of stuff, right? So let's fall back a little bit, right? And then you had the mission where Quill, Gamora, Drax, Mantis went to nowhere where the Collector is to try to stop Thanos from getting, was it the Reality Stone? I think it was the Reality Stone that the Collector got, that Thor gave the Collector in Dark World, I think it was. I can't remember because I don't really pay attention to the Thor movies, but I do know it was one of the Thor movies that the Reality Stone was in the Collector's hand, and that was when we saw the Infinity Gauntlet, the fake Infinity Gauntlet. So I'm not too sure exactly, but I think it was that one. Yeah, and Thanos had already got it, and he used the Reality Gem basically to warp reality to make them think that they had killed Thanos, because they thought Gamora had fought him, killed Thanos, but it was like he'd warped reality, you know, and he did some cool thing where he turned Drax into chunks and he turned Mantis into coils, which I record something like that did happen in the comics or something like that, because he wanted to show Death his creativity of how he can warp reality with human beings or something like that. But I do recall something like that happening, right? So and that was a little thing where there's little things that they do that is call outs from the comics, right? That they recreate in the movies, and only if you know it from the comics can you be like, oh yeah, I know that. You know, so they did do a lot of tiny little things in that. And even that mission was really cool, right? Because then he took Gamora, because he knew that Gamora knew where the Soul Gem was. And that's when they went on their mission, basically, to Vormir, I think it was. There's a lot of shit happened. I think it was Vormir. Something is telling me it was definitely Vormir. They went to get the Soul Stone. And they came across an entity that looked like it was Lady Death. But it wasn't Lady Death. It was the Red Skull. Which was interesting because if you think about it, the Red Skull either got vapor... No, he did go up inside of a teleporting device. At that time, we didn't know. We didn't know whether he got warped to death or he got vaporized or whichever. Yeah, but you saw in this movie the Red Skull, and he basically became the keeper of the Soul Stone. Yeah, and he had to lead people to something that he could never obtain himself. Right, so that was interesting how something from so long ago got made relevant today, right, with the Red Skull. So that was like pretty cool, man. And then you found out that the main thing that Thanos was stopped him from getting what he ultimately desired, which was the Soul Stone. But then you found out that there was something inside him that actually gave him what he really wanted. Like, basically, the fact that he's a murderer, he doesn't care about anyone, he doesn't love anyone, he's got nothing for nobody, was going to stop him from getting the Soul Stone, which was love. But he actually did have one love, only one love, which is Gamora, and he needed to sacrifice her to get the Soul Stone. So where Gamora was happy because she said, I've won. The one thing in this universe that you really want, you can't get, because you don't have it in you. You don't have any love in you. You love nobody. You're fucked. But he's like, I do love someone. I love you. So I am going to get what I want. And I'm prepared to sacrifice you. I'm sorry. It's going to hurt like fucking hell. But I'm going to do it. So in the end, her ultimate victory turned to her ultimate loss. And his ultimate loss turned to his ultimate victory. Which was just brilliant. Like, the movie was just like, they had like so much crazy shit in that movie, man. It was just so much to wrap your head round, and just the twists and the turns was just, it was just wonderful and just crazy. And then even when you caught up with the Vision and Wanda, and they were in Scotland, right? And the Black Order found them because he's keeping the Mind Stone, and then they basically impaled the Vision. Basically, the Vision was weakened. It was up to Wanda to fight the Black Order. The Vision did the best he could. They were getting owned. They were getting owned up, right? And then the sickest bit was when you saw Steve Rogers in the train station, right? And then he caught the spear that the Black Order threw at him. Then they started to come with Sam and Natalia. And they were fighting the Black Order. And they freed up the Black Order. Like, the fight that they had, the Avengers, Black Widow, Captain America, and the Falcon had against the Black Order was fucking sick. They got outplayed. The Black Order actually got outplayed. They didn't have more power. Steve Rogers, the Falcon, and the Black Widow, they didn't have more power than them. But they had more skill. And they outplayed them. That shit was godlike. It was so fucking cool the way they won. It was pretty much like a Goku moment, where Goku comes off Snake Way, and they're like, I'm here to save the day. Don't worry, guys, I got this. And then the way Black Widow came in, and then she fought them, took the weapon, and then stabbed him. And it was amazing. It was amazing, right? And then from that moment, Vision was pretty much out of the picture, which was really good. The way they did it made sense, right? Everything fitted in perfectly. I couldn't fault anything that happened in the movie. The way things unraveled, right? The only thing that, as I said before, that I did question was Valkyrie. What is going on with Valkyrie? Why isn't she there? But even that little conflict, big conflict, because every conflict was a big conflict, yeah, was just so amazing. It was just, that movie, man, was just a bloody rocket buster. You know, even from seeing Spider-Man with the Iron Spider outfit to seeing Iron Man's superior armor, or the L armor, whichever armor it is, and Doctor Strange. And you see Doctor Strange when he was fighting Thanos, and he used the Crimson Bands of Sitarak, which is fucking godlike, right? Like, that is like one of Doctor Strange's, like, one of his best weapons, right? Right, because, like, so you see, like, I'll give an example, right? The Crimson Band of Sitarak is in relation to the god, deity known as Sitarak. Sitarak is one of the gods of the Marvel Universe, right? Like, his power, I'll put it this way. Have you heard of Juggernaut? And he's got, like, how Juggernaut is so powerful, he's a weak human being, right? But he has got this thing called the Gem of Sitarak, which is literally a fraction of Sitarak's power. And that turns Juggernaut into the fucking unstoppable, impenetrable, indestructible Juggernaut. And that is a gem, a fragment of Sitarak's power. Doctor Strange uses one of the powers that he uses is called the Band of Sitarak. Yeah, and they looked fucking amazing. The way they visualized the Band of Sitarak when he basically wrapped it round Thanos' arm. I was like a kid in a candy store. It was just amazing. And the battle that Doctor Strange was having with Thanos, where he was using the reality magic, like Thanos was using the power gem, and then Doctor Strange was using the Bands of Sitarak, and then Doctor Strange was using, like, reality cosmic magic, and then Thanos was using the reality stone magic, and then he even did something where Thanos grabbed Doctor Strange, cut a massive part of reality out to teleport him towards him. So basically, Doctor Strange is all the way, like, pretty much like a mile away from him. Then Thanos just cuts the mile away, grabs him, like he says, all that space gone, pulls him, you're in front of me, don't fuck about, Strange. Man, that movie was just ridiculous. And then you saw Doctor Strange using his warping ability where he can make those portals, those wormholes in space. And then Spider-Man was doing like a maximum spider, basically through the portals that Doctor Strange was creating. And Iron Man was using his the nanotechnology and just fighting. It was just, the movie was just ridiculous. And Spider-Man was using the Iron Spider, the Iron Spider legs, and just fighting Thanos. And that fight was I don't know which was the best fight. I mean, the Doctor Strange fight, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man and Iron Man fight was pretty damn godlike, man. It was just unbelievable, and it just showed everything, like the power of the superior Iron Man, the reality power, the cosmic power, the Bands of Sitarak, the Maximum Spider, the Iron Spider, the Thanos fucking threw a moon. He threw comets and a moon at Iron Man. He threw fucking comets at Iron Man. He was like using the power gem and the reality gem and just threw comets at them. And this movie was just fucking the best. What the hell? I literally cannot believe that they brought it together. It was just beautiful. It was beautiful. Even to the point in Wakanda, where Doctor Strange, where they had to try to save the Vision, because they said the only way that they could save the Vision was if they destroyed the actual Mind Stone. And they said there's no other way. And then Steve Rogers is like, I think I know a different way. And then you heard the Black Panther music, And then they went to Wakanda and they showed Vision to Siri, and they said, and she was like, "Why don't you try doing it this way? Why didn't you bond his molecular forces or whatever in this way?" And the Banner's like, "Because we didn't think of it." And she's like, "Don't worry, it's all good. I'm sure you tried." Right, and then she said there is a way to separate the Vision from the Mind Stone. But there's trillions of links. One false move can just break and cause irreparable damage, right? So what Shiri was doing was she was trying to disconnect Vision's consciousness from the actual Mind Stone, yeah? Now, in the end bit, once the Vision did get killed, but before that, Siri had managed to download and separate a lot of Vision. We don't know how much of the Vision she had separated, but she did look like she finished something and then she grabbed the data, right? And then the Vision was freed. So even though the Vision, the Mind Stone got crushed, the synthetic body was gone. But the data, which is the most important part of the Vision, yeah, was still there. Shuri has got it. So yes, the body, the synthetic body is gone. But the mind of the Vision, Shuri has it. So he's not dead. They just have to create a new body for him, which they can do bloody easily, right? With Tony Stark, Shuri, Wakanda, Vibranium, Banner, the Vision's data and information, they can rebuild the Vision even better. So he's not gone, yeah? You just have to be paying attention to those little details. So that is pretty godlike. So, you know what I mean? That I noticed that straight away. But in the Battle of Wakanda, and they couldn't get through the shield in Wakanda, and the way they brought back Bucky, he says the White Wolf has rested long enough. It's time for him to do battle. I know he doesn't want battle, but give him a gun, give him his vibranium arm, let's go. Man, this movie was just too good. And that battle in Wakanda was just amazing. It was just amazing, man. You saw like Steve and T'Challa doing work, and then you saw the bit where Wanda actually came and fought in the battle, and then Okoye was like, where the hell has this girl been, and why has she been up there all this time? Because she didn't know how powerful Scarlet Witch was, Wanda, right? And so there was like a lot of funny bits in the movie that, even though it was like really serious, that broke up. But this actually was, the movie was actually, it wasn't like a serious movie as in like doom and gloom. It did have bits of comedy and to lighten the mood, but it was still serious. There was still gravitas to the situation, right? And then that's when they were fighting, and then Thor came via the Bifrost with the Stormbreaker, and he had the new armor, and then he was like, he saw Steve Rogers, and he's like, you copied my hair, yeah? And then, no, he said, Steve was like, you've copied my hair. And Thor was like, you've copied my beard. It's like, let me introduce you to my new friend. That is Tree. And that's the rabbit. And then Steve was like, to Groot, I am Steve. Or something like that. Like, he said something like that. Like, I am Steve. Like, I am Groot. Yeah. And yeah, so all that kind of stuff was like amazing, man. You know, even to the final bit, you know, after. And there was one pivotal important bit that I've not brought up, right? And that was when Doctor Strange was looking, he was using the time stone, and he was looking through endless possibilities of basically how the conflict with Thanos could end, yeah? And he said he looked through something like 14 million different outcomes in the future of how the conflict ends. And then he said out of 14 million or something like that, it was probably more, how many scenarios do we win? And Doctor Strange said only one. He doesn't say that one, but he said only one. And there was an instance where it was just Iron Man going all in against Thanos. It was amazing, right? And then he was going to kill Iron Man. He stabbed Iron Man. But I don't think it was a critical wound because somehow Iron Man had recovered from it. And I didn't see him using the Soul Gem to heal him. Yeah? And then he said... It was the... He said to... he said... and then when he said, spare Tony's life. I'll give you the Time Stone. And now, if you recall... Stephen did say... If there is a choice between saving you and Peter Parker... I will choose the Time Stone every single time. I will not hesitate. But he gave up the stone to save Tony Stark, one person. So it only goes back to that moment where he was looking at all the possible possibilities, right? And he saw something, right? Because when Tony said, why would you do that? Yeah, he said, we're in the end game now. And afterwards he said, it was the only way. He said it was the only way, which basically means one of the possibility to beat Thanos, the one way, out of 14 million different endings, the one way involved Tony Stark. So Tony Stark had to be alive in order to kill Thanos. Because he actually said it's the only way, which is regarding to the only one way he saw of beating Thanos. Massive. So there's all these tiny little things that they put in the movie that you have to be paying attention to understand what is happening, right? You know, so that is, it's deep, man. It's deep, you know. And then afterwards, that was when Thor got his sword, the Stormbreaker, which seemed like it's more powerful than Mjolnir, right? Wasn't baptized and blessed by... Oh, it's changed. My keyboard. Oh, okay. Sorry, it went on standby. No, my keyboard was doing some kind of mad colours. Yeah, and so basically, one of the things that Odin did was he bestowed upon Mjolnir, only the worthy may be able to wield this hammer, right? He didn't do that with this Stormbreaker, but the Stormbreaker did seem like it was more powerful. Something about it. It could use the Bifrost. Thor's power seemed like it was more magnified with this one. And, yeah, it was just amazing. Like, when he came back, and he was like the pivotal one because everyone got bust up. But then Thor, when he threw the Stormbreaker, it went through the beam that Thanos was using from his Infinity Gauntlet, impaled Thanos, and then even when Thor came to Thanos and he was like, I told you you'd pay for that. Like when he killed Idris Elba's character, he did say, you're gonna die for that shit. You are gonna fucking die for that. Yeah? And then he put it in his chest, he's like slowly watching him die. And the way Thor was looking into Thanos' eyes, watching the soul leave his body. He's like, yeah, that's what death is, you bitch. Yeah? And then that's when Thanos was like, you should have gone for the head. And then he's like, no! Thor was like, no! And then basically his whole arm was like all fucking destroyed, and the gem, the actual gauntlet looked like it had been vaporized, right? And that's when you knew something fucking important, something critical had happened. Yeah, the fucking Mad Titans earned his fucking name. Yeah, and then Thor was like, what did you do? Because it was not blatantly obvious what had happened, but you know something significant had happened because of the lights, flashlight throughout the entire universe. Yeah, and it was just like, and Thor's like, what did you do? What did you do? Yeah, and then Thanos just like, and he just, I think, but so maybe the Infinity Gauntlet still works a little bit because he was able to use the stone to like teleport, the space stone to like teleport out, right? So I don't know whether the gem still got power, like less power or whatever it is, but it's not completely useless, yeah, which I'm going to come back to, right? And that's when all the heroes just started turning into dust. You know, I can't remember everyone that vanished. I remember T'Challa went, Sam Wilson went, Bucky went. Who else went? Drax went. Peter Parker went. I can't remember everybody. A lot of characters went. I said Bucky, didn't I? Yeah, I can't remember everybody. I can't remember everyone that went. But a lot of people went. I mean, I think Drax, Quill went as well. Yeah. Star-Lord. A lot of people died. Yeah. You know, and that's when you understood what had happened. Like, he's just fucking killed everybody. You know. And that, at first, it shocked me. But then something just hit me. Yeah. Because when he clicked. Now, when he first got the Soul Stone from killing Gamora, he went into some mad reality world. Yeah. Which wasn't the astral plane. I think it was the soul world. That was when he first got the Soul Stone. And then the second time was when he clicked. Before everything happened, he went into that same world again, and he saw Gamora. So I'm thinking maybe Gamora is not dead, because there was a time that Gamora has died in the comic books, and then she was brought to life with the Soul Stone. Yeah. And that's where Gamora gained her regenerative ability from, the Soul Stone. Yeah. So I'm thinking Gamora did die, but now she's in the Soul Stone. And she can be resurrected with the Soul Stone because her soul is in the Soul Stone. Because she was the sacrifice for it. So I don't think she's actually dead. So everybody turned to dust and they were teleported. Half of the universe was teleported into the soul world inside the Soul Stone. That's what I think has happened, right? And then in the very ending, you saw, what's her name again? Nick Fury. And he had like a pager, and then he sent like a pager out or something like that, and the symbol of Carol Danvers came out. Yeah. Yeah, that's Miss Marvel. And that's interesting because the Miss Marvel movie is set in the 90s, right? Which, from what I've heard. So what that says to me is maybe that movie set in the 90s. Something must happen, yeah, with Marvel. And maybe she's with the Starjammers. Yeah, so maybe something happens in that movie and she gets the binary power and she's in space, and that signal basically is summoning her to Earth because she's not on Earth anymore. Because if she was on Earth, she blatantly would have been there from the beginning. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. The only thing I think, if she's not been killed by this, what Thanos did, she's in space with the Starjammers and she's got binary. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see, man. But yeah, man, that movie was just godlike, man. Like, it was a 10 out of 10 movie. It was, for me personally, it was like the perfect superhero movie. Right, I'm even now doing this review. I'm pretty sure I've missed a hell of a lot of things from the movie. You know, I'll admit I was a little bit shocked, more than shocked, when they killed off Black Panther. Right, well, teleported him to the Soul World, so they're probably gonna be stuck in the Soul World, which means they're not gonna have any type of place in the movie because Soul World is not. The Soul World is a peaceful place. It's a place of absolute fucking bliss. Yeah, it's not where they're going to be fighting monsters or they're going to have to fight Thanos in there or any type of obstacles. That place is a peaceful place in the Soul World. Yeah, the champion Adam Warlock, he teleports into the Soul World basically to go on his pilgrimages. You know, so it's not a place of trials. So we'll see what happens in the next movie, which is going to be amazing. And they even gave Thanos a happy ending, which was pretty incredible. Like, because you saw him at the end smiling, on Titan, the Mad Titan on Titan, smiling, saying, I did it. I've accomplished my goal, my dream. The sacrifice was worth it. It fucking hurts, but it was worth it. You know, so, yeah, I'm just excited to see what's going to happen from here. Right, what's going to happen with Iron Man. Steve Rogers is still there. Who else is still there? War Machine, Thor, Groot. No, Groot got teleported away. Rocket still stayed. Right, so, bloody hell, forces are cut in half. But the one thing they didn't do in this movie was fight all together. Yeah, because when they did fight Thanos, they fought Thanos in teams. They didn't fight like, it wasn't like Doctor Strange, Captain America, Black Widow, War Machine, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, T'Challa, Okoye, Scarlet Witch, The Vision. They didn't all fight all Thanos at one time all together, right? It was in bits that they fought, right? So that, I think, is going to be like an important part. But I still think the actual gauntlet, it's still got its power, right? It's just maybe it's got a weakened power, but it's still got the power. So we're going to see from that. So yeah, I want to hear what you guys got to say. For me, as I said, movie's 10 out of 10 movie. For me, perfect movie. I loved the movie from beginning to end, right? And I feel like this movie is marking the end of the Avengers and and it's going to be the beginning of the X-Men, right? Because they don't need to redo the Avengers again. They don't. Now they need to focus on something, because they got something that's even bigger to come. They've got to tackle the X-Men universe. X-Men universe is bigger than the Marvel, than the actual Avengers universe, right? The X-Men universe is much bigger than the Avengers universe. It's massive, yeah? So, new things are on the horizon, yeah? So, I'm excited to see how they're going to wrap up everything to do with this, right? And how they're going to lead into the X-Men saga, the X-Men arc, because they got a lot of stories to tell from that and build up another 10-year legacy. So, yeah, Warriors, that's all I really wanted to say about that. I loved the movie. I was blown away by it. I loved the Iron Spider. I loved the Iron Man. The Mad Titan Thanos was my guy. He was incredible. Thor was amazing. I felt like a little bit let down by Black Panther. They didn't go into Black Panther as much as I would have loved them to go into Black Panther. Steve Rogers, who was, I don't want to call him just Captain America in this. He wasn't Captain America. He was more Nomad than Captain America, right? I loved the way they did the White Wolf in this. Okoye played a good role. Scarlet Witch was like really powerful and really good in this movie. No fault to this movie. Movie was incredible. You definitely need to watch this, and you need to watch it multiple times. Facts of life. So, yeah, Warriors, this is my longest review, but you had to expect it, because this is Avengers, right? This is the almost close to the final chapter. So, yeah, that was it. Warriors, let me know what you guys think. Tell me what you think about this review that I've just done as well. And tell me what you think of the movie if you watched the movie. And Warriors, let's do this thing. Alright, to my next video, stay blessed, take care, and be fantastic. No, be marvellous. Alright, later.